Everyone has done a wonderful job so far of getting us grounded. So let's continue that right now. Ground ourselves in being. So just take a couple of deep breaths. Helps relax us and revive us. Allow ourselves to just be here now. We open ourselves, our minds and our hearts, our thinking nature and our feeling nature. Open. Open to express and to receive that which Spirit has waiting for us always. Communication and knowledge, feeling and understanding. Let us now move forward through the rest of our day, beginning with the now. We allow ourselves to remain curious to all that is, open and receptive to any kind of information that comes to us, unafraid, comfortable, fully present. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And so it is. Amen. Okay. I thought today I would kind of do a piggyback continuation of the talk that Leon gave a few weeks ago. I remember the main theme that stayed in my mind on that is that life is precious. I've thought about that quite often during the weeks that have since passed. Life is precious. Of course, I like to ask questions about things, like what is life? What is precious? Precious can be defined in several different ways. I know that I defined it when I first heard it as being something that was very, very valuable, very precious. And then I also saw it as being not only precious in that sense, but also rare. Life rare. And I thought, wait a minute, life isn't rare. I remember when I lived in Hawaii, on the big island in Hawaii, and a volcano came through and lava poured out of it, and it was just red hot, and it burned across and destroyed the highways and people's cars and homes, continued all the way down to the ocean, and is still flowing to this very day. And that was in the 1980s when that happened. And it's still flowing. Amazing, isn't it? It's amazing to me that it happened from 1983 onward, almost 40 years, flowing and flowing. But here's the strange thing that I noticed about it. As soon as it cooled off enough that a person could walk on it, or not only a person, but an animal could walk on it, and it was still warm, but it was something that was tolerable. Here came life. Little trees, pieces of grass, so forth, started growing in every little crack and crevice that could hold anything at all. How those seeds got there, it must have been through birds, it must have been through the wind. But suddenly there was life again, sticking its little head up. Life once more. life, precious life. There's something else that I learned not long ago. Now, this is the way consciousness works. This is the way that we all know it works. Serendipity. As soon as you start thinking about something, or you're having little memories, or you're having little aha moments in your life, um, suddenly something will appear. Uh, and this happened with me. I was thinking about this thing about preciousness and life and consciousness. And a friend of mine who I hadn't heard from in, easily 12 years, suddenly emailed me and said, "Hey, Terry, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in so long. I'm just wanting to catch up with you. Let me know what's going on with you." So I started, I was happy to answer him. His name is Ethan Walker the third, Ethan Allen Walker the third. And he was an old friend of mine. I met him years and years ago back in college when I was going to college, and we had a band together. He was the drummer, I was the singer and rhythm guitar player. And the band was called September's Creation because everybody in the band had been born in September. But then they changed singers, and I became the singer, and then it couldn't be September's Creation any longer. So we changed the name of the band. Be that as it may, that's how long I've known this guy. And we've been friends, and just kind of got separated from one another, as time does for some of us. And here I'm thinking about this, and he suddenly contacts me, wants to know what I'm doing. I told him everything that had been going on in the last decade and how things were going now. I told him that I was retired as a minister, but I still spoke from the little church that I had retired from, and I spoke every 2 or 3 months, and I really liked that because I didn't have to come up with a brand new talk every week. But I didn't say that to him, but I'm just saying it to you all. And he wrote back to me and told me what was going on with him. And then about 20 minutes later, after we had caught up and had done our little history thing together, then um, he wrote back and said, "Hey, if you're still doing talks, I just found something that you might really be interested in. It's a 4-part series on consciousness and life, and it's on a channel called Gaia, GAIA.com. Some of you may be familiar with Gaia." And he said, if you don't have it, if that's not one of your streaming channels, then go there and you get the first week is free. Well, hey, can't miss that. So I went on there and I saw this series that he was talking about. 4-part series, about 30, 40 minutes each part. And I listened to all of them. I listened to all of them 3 or 4 times. I enjoyed it so much, and I wanted to glean as much information because I wanted to share it with you. The first part of it, oh, by the way, it's extremely well done. It's just top notch all the way, very professional. The first part of it talked about everything is energy. Everything is energy. So that which we express as life is just an outforming in all its different expressions of energy, every bit of it, each one of us, everything. They showed in this experiments that were done showing that that energy exists in everything, and this energy can be affected with the human mind. This one lady has had abilities, or she had abilities that evidently all of us have, but her abilities were very strong. She was able to change the pH of water. That was one of the experiments that they had in there. They checked the pH on a water. They had these little electrodes in the water, And she could place her hands on either side of it, concentrate her energy in her mind to lower the pH of the water. And it changed. It changed. And they did this experiment over and over just to make sure that it was not over and over like 100 times, but 3 or 4 times. And she was able to do it each time. The lady had an amazing ability to focus her energy, her concentration outward and make changes. One of the things that was done on one of these sessions was placing her, they had a piece of tin foil, aluminum foil, bent at an angle about like this, and right in the apex of that, they set it on a pin facing upwards, and then put a glass globe over the top of it so it wouldn't be disturbed by any kind of air pressures or anything else. And by placing her hands on either side of it and staring at it, she could make the thing rotate. And it wasn't fast, but it was rotating. My skeptical mind is saying, yeah, well, the light changed in the room, the heat changed, and that's what's happening. And that's, it's something like that. Until she made it rotate the other direction. She could stop it and make it go the other way. And that sold me on the idea that there are people that can do that sort of thing, and that we all have this capability. We just haven't tuned into it yet. The bottom line on all of these talks is this: there is an energy field that we are all in. Underlying this thing that we call life is a greater energy that we're all tuned into. So rather than seeing consciousness as a byproduct of life, the truth of it is life is a byproduct of consciousness. There is a greater consciousness which forms in the outer everything and everyone. Now, you know as well as I do that Unity has been saying this for a long time, that whatever you hold in your mind, you will draw to yourself things in your life or people in your life that will suddenly make a difference because of the way you have been feeling. If you're fearful, you'll draw to yourself fearful experiences, or experiences in which you are allowed to be fearful. It's as though the universal mind, the universal consciousness hears this, and it does, hears this and says to you, oh, so you want fear? Okay, we can produce fear for you, no problem. Oh, you want forgiveness in your life? Here it comes. Ah, you want happiness, togetherness? We can do that too. It will form according to the way you think. And that's what scripture tells us. Even as a person thinketh, so is he. And I kind of upgraded that. The Bible says, even as a man thinketh, but we know what that means. It means a person, any thoughts that you think become who you are. It's not the other way around. You don't have a life and then it influences your thinking. Your thinking influences your life. Thinking and feeling. That's one of the things that Unity teaches. Thought plus feeling equals manifestation. Why isn't everything just hunky-dory in our lives? Why isn't it coming out that way? Well, Charles Fillmore taught that it's because we have mixed thinking and mixed feeling. in our being until we're able to straighten all that out, sort of do a check of our inner computer and allow those programs and all those little strands that are going nowhere to reform themselves into a solid way of feeling or solid way of thinking. We're going to have these little stray thoughts and stray feelings and stray experiences in our life. But we have control over that. But we don't have control over it simply by thinking. We have control over it by letting go and letting God. That's what we call it, God. Some of us call it God. Some of us call it energy, nature, whatever you might conceive it to be. It's there. It is a field of consciousness that extends out from first as atoms, then beyond that to molecules, then to organs, then to full being, just like a baby is born. Everything in our life turns out that way. I found this interesting too. All things in the outer are a series of circles. An atom is a circle. A molecule is a group of circles. Organs, beyond and beyond, all of this is circles. But consciousness is a spiral, which is an elongated moving circle, going where it wants to go, where it needs to go. All the things and all the places that exist in the physical universe and beyond into other realms and manifestations all exist as spirals. We picture the earth as turning in a circle, when in actuality, it is moving. The sun is moving. Everything is going somewhere in a spiral, spiraling out, spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. And it will continue to do this for millions, billions, trillions of what we call years. So the main thing that I gleaned from all of this information is this: life's purpose, the whole purpose of the universe itself, is to produce more of itself, more life. Life will continue on and on and on. But that life has no meaning whatsoever without consciousness. Consciousness is the thing that says, I am, and starts from there. Just think about it. Before any of us were ever born or ever gained our being, or whatever you want to call it, our corporeal being, one guy called it a meat puppet. We are meat puppets on this earth. In this series that I was watching, he said, after we give up the meat puppet, and that is a way of looking at life, as though we are a corporeal being appearing as flesh and bone, and that's fine. But on another reality, another truth, what we truly are is consciousness. How do you want to express that consciousness? Do you want to express it as fear, hatred, contention, all of these sort of things in your life? Or do you want to express it a little differently? You want to express it quite differently, as love, togetherness. Think about it. God bless.
Thank you, Terry.
You're
I
welcome.
guess in consciousness, I kind of prayed that all the meat puppets would be joining together today, and we are.
Yeah,
We're here.
here we are. Bunch of meat
I've
puppets.
never quite heard that term before, but I will be
Me
ever,
either. I was shocked when I heard it.
forever after thinking about my consciousness in one form or another as a meat puppet. So
Crazy.
before we do the love offering and prayers, maybe Donna, you could bless us with a song.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep the recording going, just to kind of, the way it used to be, because we didn't stop recording at certain times in live stream. We were recording all the time to the very end till we hugged each other and said goodbye. So let's see if we can record to the end of our session, and we can all review this on YouTube.
Okay.
I am free in the mind of God, where I'm not bound by the laws of the world. I desire more than anything else to know what I truly am. I want to know what I truly am. The waves of time, they come and go. This body will change and grow old. Someday this world will be no more. When I know what I truly am, when I know what I truly am. My life's been bound up in the past. That's all gone, but I live as if I'm trapped. Say I wanna be free when I insist that the past is me. The prison door is open wide. How can I leave when I'm still trapped inside? All chained up in fear and lies. I wanna know what I truly am. Wanna know what I truly am. Questions and doubts in my head, searching for life in a world that's dead. I say I wanna be free. Do I really wanna be free? I am free only in the mind of God, where I'm not bound by the laws of the world. I desire more than anything else to know what I truly am. I wanna 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 know what I truly am. Only God knows what I truly am.
Thank you, Donna. With that in mind, or in consciousness, with the idea that our thoughts are prayers, the affirmation for love offerings and tithes. Divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. Amen. So if you would unmute yourselves and share with everybody. We're a full house just about this morning. Thank you, Lord. Gloria brought the sunshine, Donna brought the music, and Terry brought the message.
We're gonna do the fun.
What are we gonna say?
Unmute.
Oh,
Okay, you're unmuted.
Hi.
Thank you, Terry. That
Thanks,
was a
Terry.
great talk.
Yeah.
We loved it.
All right. Okay, Mary Ann.
Ellen's got a.
Oh, no. What's Neil
Yeah.
got? Oh, my God. Look at Neil.
Hey,
Bert and Ernie, I
these
think.
are our props for when we talk with our grandson.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
This is Parker Joe material.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, remember we're broadcasting to the YouTube now, so
Neil,
Amazing.
Neil one-upped us.
no, they're just two friends, just like your friends.
What do you got there, Neil?
Got the,
The Muppets?
yeah.
Yeah, so I took away from Neil's talk, no, from Leon's talk, the idea that life is precious, and you guys will probably take away from this talk meat puppet. Great.
We got.
No, it was fabulous, Terry. It's
It was
always,
good.
and Guy is a great streaming service to have. It's we started streaming with it when we were still before COVID, when we were still doing the movie of the month at the Wellness Center, and a lot of the movies that we showed we got right from there. So they do some really, it's
Gaia.
yeah, they have a lot of really great material, and so they're a good one to have.
Somebody else like to share? Yes, Patty.
I've shared with so many people that whatever they think is what they get, or that life is a boomerang, or that what you put out there, be careful what you wish for, or what your passion is about. If your passion is about hate or discord or unkindness, you become that, or that is brought to you. And so the message of the energy and the lady who can change energy, there's more and more information about how glorious we are as human beings, and we haven't even touched the surface. I think we're going to get to the moon before we get to understanding the human mind or the human experience. And I'm thrilled that you gave this message, Terry, and I love you so much. And I love you, Don, for your wonderful music and your beauty.
Yeah, what a great song, Donna. That really fit in so well. One of the things that I wanted to stress a little bit more about this lady that could do this, she would say when she's concentrating and trying to do it, she realizes that she's in her ego. And what she needs to do is just relax and let go. And then she becomes a channel for the flow of that which is. And when she does that, then it happens. So we all know that let go and let God. I mean, that's what we're trying to say when we say these things is that, and Jesus said it, I of myself can do nothing. So, it's the Father within doing the work. That's the way he pictured it. And we can picture it in different ways, but it's all the same thing. Just relax, let it happen.
Well, I'm sure that there are people who, like me, have passionately thought about what we would love to manifest in our life. And it may not have manifested the next day, but over some time, we realized that we got what we really wanted. And it always is, I just want to go down on my knees when I become conscious of the fact that all the things that I asked for or wanted, I've gotten them. And it always amazes me.
Yeah, Patty, that's a great segue to something that we used to do traditionally when we were together, was the burning bowl ceremony. And, in this forum, I think it was at one of the last year they did something with Unity of Springfield. I'm not sure, but that's something that we can still do. It's not dedicated to January 1st or December 31st. But if those of you that haven't done that, remember we used to write down in the envelope and send it out to everybody, was a major tradition in our church. So I would just suggest some of the ideas were on the newsletter, when I think Unity Village did their ceremony January 5th. It doesn't mean that because January 5th has come and gone that we can't do our own ceremony and put down things that we'd like to see manifest, things that we'd like to let go of. And as far as consciousness, I'm thinking about Einstein. They said that he only used maybe 15% of his brain. Now, how they came out with a 15 percentile, I have no clue. But on a good day, many of us are lucky to get to 4 or 5. Okay, speaking for myself. But just, the whole idea of our thoughts, our prayers, whatever we put out there, we manifest. And I manifested today all of these beautiful faces. Rather than get upset, and Donna Marie Carey would attest to that I said, wow, wouldn't it be nice if we had a musician come back in the event that, something else happens or doesn't happen. So thanks, Donna, for joining us this morning. I really appreciate that. It's just more like business as it used to be when we were all together. So please continue sharing. Unmute and share.
Terry, I really enjoyed your talk, and it's just so nice to be in connection with you again. It's been quite a while. It's really touching my heart. And speaking along the lines of energy, I was thinking also of this water witching, which I sort of learned from a friend. And
Water witching.
that's what I call it. It's called other things too, but that's how they found all of the water lines at my house in Manassas to sell it. The guys came out to find the water lines, and they walked with the water witching sticks and found every line exactly where it was, just by walking through the yard. And I do that. A friend taught me how to do that. And sure enough, you walk over where a water line is or where water is under the ground, and they will start moving. And so that thing of energy is used in many ways that, we don't even realize they're used in, like say, finding water lines and underground rivers or whatever. So.
Yeah, my father was a plumber, and he did that a lot of times. When he would have to find the line, somebody would say, we've got a break in the line here someplace, and we don't have any water pressure. And he'd go out and take 2 coat hangers and straighten them out, bend them into L shapes, and hold on loosely to one in each hand and start walking in their yard. And these would move by themselves and close right over the top of one another. And if he walked further, it would move towards him. And if he backed up, it would do like this. And I've used it all my life like that to find lines. You're exactly right.
Yeah, so that'd be a fun experiment for anybody that hasn't done it. Just get 2 coat hangers, bend them, and start walking through them.
Yeah.
I'll move when you get over.
Yeah, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Ours would be easier. We would just stand on the well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Very well. Well. Okay, I think we've
Deep subject.
exhausted that subject. So.
We're still recording, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Terry, I really enjoyed your talk. I think I actually did see that series. I don't know if this experiment was in there from Heart Math. Did they have things in there from Heart Math?
No, this one's called Superhuman, and it was done in 2021. So it's a very recent one.
Oh, okay. So it's a new one. Okay. Because
Yeah.
I checked out another one, and there was an experiment done at Heart Math. They had the guy that was doing the documentary was sitting there, and they had a bowl of yogurt there, and they had 2 electrodes in it and a voltmeter on it. And so they told him to get into a, sense of gratitude. And so he started thinking about something he was happy about, and it put out a certain voltage. Then they told him, think about something that was, that really pissed you off. And the guy went right to, he was having a problem with a lawyer he was working with. And that volt thing changed, like totally, went off the chart. And so just by his emotion, had a baseline, gratitude, went one way. He was pissed off, went that fast. So his emotions were energy. Information is energy also, and I did a talk on the pineal gland, which I think is actually one way we connect to the universal energy, the Akashic records, that type of thing. So
And part 2 is coming up, right, Frank?
I'm sorry?
Part 2 is coming up.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, just like Zach and Jody, part 2. Way in the future. Okay.
But yeah, I really appreciated the talk. Really, and when every time I see something on Gaia, I always go back to, the 5 principles covers everything I see. It's amazing, But from the science side, they're just saying, well, we're seeing this, and we can demonstrate this, and it's just proven what Fillmore's knew, and intuitively, or or the people that they worked with or they learned from knew intuitively. And probably our ancient ancestors, they probably just did it naturally, just walked around.
Add something to that, Frank, about Heart Math. That was interesting when the Heart Math Foundation in California put together the Global Coherence Project. And basically that was, you get into heart coherence with a certain, and we did that in church one time, we talked about heart coherence. But you can meditate and pull up a screen and get into that state of oneness, and you can meditate with people from around the globe, and you see who is meditating with you, somebody from Russia or somebody from, even down in China, and you're sending out the same vibratory rate with globally, which is
Awareness.
an incredible experience. It's the same thing when was it the Dalai Lama came here, or it was probably some other Indian gurus too, came here and did in DC a mass consciousness prayer, and the crime rate went down over the weekend dramatically. So we know how powerful energy is. When I first got involved with Reiki, I thought it was woo woo, but it's just an amazing, when you focus your energy and you can direct that energy. It took me a while to become a believer, but it was, the things that came from that, the healings and just calmness that you can. I did that when I worked with AIDS patients at Whitman Walker. Very, very calming, very healing, very relaxing. It's just, so there's a whole science of that we are. I mean, even Jesus said that and so much more are you capable of. So it's just an amazing world when we tune into it. So other thoughts? Other prayers?
I just want to thank Terry. It's always good to see you, and it's always good to hear you, and you always have a good message. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'd like to also, you guys have probably already heard this, but Thich Nhat Hanh passed away a day or two ago.
Oh, I didn't know.
Mary and I both loved his work.
Right.
Yeah, he was older.
He left, actually, there's a beautiful message, and I don't know how to access it, but knowing that he was about to leave us, he left a beautiful message behind.
Where do we see it?
Bill read it to us yesterday.
Oh,
I have to see if I can get a
it's
hold of
probably
it.
online. If
probably
you
online.
Google
Is that the Lion's Roar something? What's his website? Lion something?
Or his
magazine.
magazine.
Just Google his name,
But what's the name of this place in
Plum Village,
Plum
in
Village?
France. But
Yeah.
you'll all kinds of stuff will come up.
Okay, all right. Jody, did you have something?
If
I
I
think
can,
Leon had his hand up, and I
Okay.
think Bob did too before I.
Good. Thank you, Coach.
Mhm.
Leon?
Well, I gotta thank Jody for, being the only one here that notices me. And, I don't have a thing to add. I just want to thank Terry for a profound and enlightening message. And it was well done. Thank you very much.
I mean, even if he did drop your name, Leon?
Yes. I didn't realize how profound I was.
You
Bob,
amaze us. You literally amaze us, Leon.
I bet.
Thank you, Terry, for a powerful message. I've had this idea hit me this morning. Why don't you YouTube trees? And I did, and lo and behold, trees in the wild are of many varieties. And this forester in British Columbia was required to give advice on what trees to plant, where they had clear cut the forest. And lo and behold, the trees that she recommended ended up being subject to blight and all that good stuff. It killed them. So she said, what's going on? Well, it turns out that evidence of the presence of God, the trees communicate with each other, and some of the trees are medicinal to the other trees and provide micro antibodies. They put with isotopes in the roots of one tree and check nearby trees, and sure enough, in a matter of a couple of months, they were all surrounded. The trees all had that isotope in their roots too. So the course teaches that love is all that is real. And this communication indicates we would be arrogant to think that we weren't able to communicate love, because that's what these trees are doing with each other. I mean, how much smarter are we than trees? Well, take that. Good job, Leon. Good job.
And so was born tree huggers. I know there are tree huggers out there, right?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, okay, I'll talk now.
And then
Terry,
Laura.
thank you. You know how you said, if you think of something or you see something, it doesn't take very long before it repeats and you see another connection later. Well, I had just watched something on TV that talked about it. The fact that all living things are connected in an energy, that they're all connected in almost like a living consciousness. And they went around and showed some of this evidence of it. And there were just so many beautiful things, from things that we can't really hear, but instruments can pick up, that shows that the earth is communicating just through the rocks and everything. Yeah, Welcome to Earth is the name of it. And the way the animals move in hive activities, whether they're a full group of we see these things like wildebeest, all of a sudden just doing stuff, but they went and looked exactly what was happening when, how they move together and how they signaled each other without really signaling each other. And the way that in Nepal, these huge beehives, and the bees are all on the outside of their big bees, and how they have 12 inches away from the hive, people can come to it. Nothing happens. They don't move or anything. But once you break through that 12 inches, you've entered their space, and they start signaling. It almost looks like some of these neon signs where they like, how you do the wave, or their wings would go down in a wave, and they'd go up this way in a pattern and that way in a pattern, and they're communicating to each other. It was just a really neat thing. And I just saw that, and you just added right on top of it. So it's true. You see something and there you go. You get more information.
See something, say something, right?
Right.
Laura, you had your hand up?
I did. I just wanted to say thank you. Every time I come on, I get so full almost want to cry.
That's
You know, I
love.
don't hear a lot of this in day-to-day life in the world. So
It's okay.
just thank you.
We're all connected, so we'll cry off camera, okay, everybody?
Give me your cup.
So, Jody and Zach, did you have something before we do our sing out song with Donna?
I just want to bring up it's your choice that this is the first one that got recorded. I had nothing to do
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
right. He did. Are you recording, right? So maybe you could decide.
Give me a little time, and then
You're gonna go.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. One of the things that I'm glad about is that I do not work in a cubicle like visitors. There was once a personal assistant whose boss said, "I need your help right now." And the personal assistant came over what they saw as the paper shredder. And the boss said, "I can't get this thing to work." And the boss was slamming on it and beating on it and trying to push every button. And the secretary just turned something on. And the boss said, "Oh, good, you got it to work. Now I just need 2 copies."
Now I just need 2 copies. It was a
Just need
shredder.
2 copies. So if you got the paper shredder to work, he didn't know.
I have another question to consider. I have
Yes.
another question to consider.
Okay.
How do you keep a bagel from getting away? You put locks on it.
Locks on it.
Okay, Patty, do you want to add to the bagel and locks?
Well, mine is similar. This is from, I think Mickey Rooney said it. Everyone wants to live a long life, but nobody wants to get old. I just thought that was kind of neat now that I'm getting old.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then
Or
Patty,
now that Robert's getting old.
so maybe it would be appropriate to do the prayer of protection now then, right? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over all of us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And Donna, if you'd like to lead us on to the rest of the week with whatever song you think is appropriate.
Yeah, I feel this song is appropriate because
I want to sing something.
as we allow our minds to be healed of whatever thoughts do ourselves and others any harm, judgment, etc., we're not healed alone, because that energy you speak of, that prayer, that grace, automatically extends from us when we accept it into our hearts and minds. It's an automatic. So when we're healed, we're not healed alone, ever. So just feel that as you're feeling peace and joy and gratitude. Of course, says there's no neutral thoughts. So everything you think, every way you think has an effect on a universal scale. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Freedom is real, heaven is home. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. Freedom is real, sweetheart, are we? Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. Take each moment, then each moment, peace eternally. Let there be